Previously on DUNE COPS, a missing painting, its value measured in blood. 6 suspects, men and women who never existed, trapped together on a journey into hell. First stop was local punk Jeremy Reynolds. He put up a big front. When push came to shove, he folded like a fat man punched in the gut. He pointed us to the green. The place was a slum, dirty and dangerous. I felt like I belonged, like I could curl up next to the abandoned vehicles, just another burnt out wreck. We discovered where the suspects were hiding, but when we arrived we found only death. 5 lives snuffed out and Ella Carran missing. The doctor got to work. He discovered each of the victims had been taken out with a single stab wound, cold, professional. We canvassed the neighbours and picked up a fresh lead. Ella Carran had a safe house at the Phoenix Spa and was headed there by boat. Maybe she hoped that she could rise from the ashes. With this much heat, she was more likely to burn away. Thanks to our smuggler, we were quickly out on the water and closing the distance. We weren't the only sharks on the waves. The Fremen were hunting Ella, with murder on their minds. In the end, the Fremen were no match for our tactician. She's the kind of lady that's worked out how to kill you before you've even finished shaking hands. Ella Carran was slippery like a greased up eel in a butter factory. The Bene Gesserit sister spotted her climbing onto a nearby ship. Ella found herself unable to resist her authority. She knew her goose was cooked. She slipped, plummeting into the crushing depths. The Ecstasy oceans were full of secrets. If I didn't act fast, Ella Carran would be entombed with them. I dived in, grabbed Ella, dragged her to the surface, water filling my lungs. I wanted to give in to the darkness. The pressure was too much, but I couldn't stop. We had to push on.
Right, so we're back for another episode of DUNE COPS.
Yay!
Yay! And I'm joined by
Completely new.
the new, yes, completely new, the double Craig situation. So we have Mr. Brits, who's playing Miles Butler.
Hello.
Hello. And we have the original Craig, the Flavor Flav, who is playing Logan Ward.
Who's just recently an entire character.
He can now
He's
earn
complete.
advancement points this session.
He's a whole man.
Awesome. And we also have, of course, the Mistress of Tactics, Rayla Kefter. Yep, there you
Made
go.
by me.
Who's leveraging the...
I didn't necessarily want to say, yep, I'm Rayla. But
I thought you were just leveraging your effusive trait. That's what's going on.
yeah. Not to be confused with the affluent that we threw in the water.
No. Or the pedantic interrupter. None of that. None of those. And ready to perform life-saving, water declogging medical interventions. We have Eula McCoy, played by Nick.
Almost have a license.
Almost licensed practitioner, yeah, ALP. Not advanced, almost. And bringing the power of the Bene Gesserit to this CSI series of episodes, Sister Margot. Right, so last time we left it on something of a cliffhanger, where Logan Ward had just dived into the ocean and pulled the fleeing art thief Ella Carran from the depths of the water, surfaced next to the vessel piloted ably by Miles, and well, it's I believe at the top of this turn, so to speak, it's Rayla's turn on the old initiative ladder. Her action. What do you want to do?
I am going to, despite my not stellar communicate, I'm going to try to raise the Ecstasy Coast Guard
Ooh.
Ornithopter.
We just saw them buzzing around, looping around the lumbering vessel that dwarfs yours. Yes, raise them. It sounds like a communicate then.
Yep. Yep.
Or you trying to fob me off with a battle skill?
No, I don't think that this one's going to be foisted as a. I'll be able to foist this one off as a battle skill.
I wouldn't have accepted it. Yeah, so communicate, but.
So do you want me to make the attempt, the pitch, and then I'll do you want me to say what I say and then do the roll?
Hell,
you can do the difficulty based on what I'm trying to sell them on.
That's an intriguing way of doing it. I think I'll be a little more conventional.
Okay.
What is it? What's your goal here with your community?
So I'm going to I want to convince them that I'm not going to mislead them. So I'm convincing them that we are from House Obscura and investigating crime on behalf of the Emperor, and we have the situation with near the freighter under control, but it is of critical importance that someone apprehend the 3 individuals on the boat currently foundering in the reef.
Currently sinking, yeah.
Yes.
Ignominious death for the Fremen. Drown.
Yeah, I'm guessing, do they have swim focus, or, yeah.
Believe you me, they have no focuses that were relevant and useful for the previous episode.
During a boat chase.
During a boat chase, yeah. Really fish out of water. So, this... Oh, yeah, sorry. Pun ahoy. So it's a pressure 1 situation, which increases the difficulty level. Unless you can leverage a trait, you've got a D3 communicate task ahead because they've been roused by a ship's captain. It's happening in the shipping lane. You're in a non-marked vessel because it's the smuggling vessel, not your House Obscura colours. So it's D3, but you can leverage a trait if you can persuade me.
Can I leverage tactician to keep my cool in this pressure situation?
Yeah, and I think your choice of language...
I can communicate with a military, police, paramilitary.
Absolutely. Yeah. So knowing call signs and appropriate... Yeah, that would help. So, okay, you bring it down to a D2.
All right, so it's going to be a communicate. And which drive am I using here?
Yes, and tell me your drive statement. I'm always...
I'm going to say maybe duty. Without a command structure, victory is impossible. Because I'm leaning into the fact that Coast Guard has authority in this regard, and we need to sell them on the fact that we need them to do what we want.
Yeah, I buy that.
All right. Submit. I'm going to, before I decide how many to spend, I'm wondering, does the focus of tactics, though it's a battle focus, apply here because we are having a military or paramilitary conversation, or is that a stretch?
Hey, maybe it's a little bit of a stretch, but I'll buy it, because if this doesn't go well, we could have a skirmish situation.
All right, so I will buy the extra dice. I'll move a momentum into the momentum gutter there.
It's the gutter of momentum.
Using the focus. Hey, there we go.
Man, the dice are back and loving you today.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we needed 2 to succeed, 1 to replace the okay, so what do we want to do with that extra 2 momentum? Why don't we see what we got so far, and then decide whether to keep that momentum or make a trade or what have you.
Whilst you do that, I remember to raise my threat for a new session rather.
Good call.
But we got...
Actually, I was gonna...
Yeah.
Yeah, so let us know what the response to the successful communicators.
Yeah, absolutely. So, making sure that your language is sort of like suitable for being deferential within the chain of command between you and the Coast Guard in the situation that you're in. You communicate and come through to the commander of the Coast Guard inside the Ornithopter. You'll patch through, and he comes on the mic, so to speak. He says, affirmative, B-Team Obscura. This is Commander Jenkins of the Ornithopter Flight Tango 309er. Deploying to intercept unwanted intruders. Inform us if you need any further support with the recovery of your objective. And you see the Ornithopter orient and strike out towards the reef.
Fantastic. Thank you for your support. If there are any questions about our jurisdiction or authority, please contact our Technical Art Director Veritas of House Obscura.
He will be so pleased to get this call right now. Cut to a scene of Veritas spitting out some Earl Grey tea when he gets a communique.
Hey, we found the suspect, and those Fremen are sitting in a cell somewhere, ideally.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, so
that's worth a phone call.
We love a phone call in this game in mid-combat. As the Ornithopter streaks away, to harry the poor Fremen who are languishing in the middle of the reef, and you see it sort of like hovering over them with massive sort of like downdraft, making their day so much
sit
better.
Back out to the. I'm gonna send one more word to the Ornithopter.
Oh yeah.
The people on that boat are extremely deadly. Do not let them within melee range of you.
Okay. Yeah, so, and they... Jenkins acknowledge over. You still see them hovering and providing crazy downdraft, and I'm sure that's making the Fremen sailors, which seems a complete contradiction of terms there, have an even more happy time than they are already. Logan is still in the water. Was that a subtle move or a bold move? No, you did a communicate, so it wasn't a move, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a move, and I think we'd be at the top of a new turn anyways, because we were technically finishing the end of a...
Yeah.
I was the last one to go of our side in the conflict, so this would be a new round if we're having if the conflict is still...
Yeah, because the Fremen are still on the scene.
Yep.
You have reached the objective of... You've got Ella, but you're not quite safe yet. But you're as close as damn it to achieving your objective. But there's the potential complication of being in the shipping lane, and there being the Coast Guard that I'd like to sort of like resolve, just to make sure you fully realise your ambition of having Ella and being able to question her. Okay, so...
Is the Ornithopter trying to pick the Fremen out the sea with like one of those claw machine claws?
Yeah, teddy grabber.
Yeah. It's just hovering over them at the moment, right this second, having flown over there. But top of the round here, I've got some threat. I could spend it. I don't care to. So you have the initiative.
I'd like to do something. which is I can see. I keep going to say Blake. I can see Logan with the woman trying to get them out of trying to hoik themselves up onto the boat. And I can see that Logan's coughing up seawater.
Both of them are.
Leaking out.
Yeah, I know, but I can help Logan. So what I want to do is just lean over and slap him on the back. And use this Sook Doctor talent, which is I remove his complication for this scene. So it's my action. It means it's not harder for him to get out and to drag her out, whatever. I'm like, cough it up, Logan. And he'll be fine, do you know what I mean? So for this scene, he's not waterlogged anymore.
By using an action, you can remove the effects of any physical complication, which is how much water you swallowed whilst underwater earlier, and remove that complication. The complication will return at the end of the scene unless otherwise removed. So you gain some temporarily relief. Now are able to breathe.
I figure that might make it easier for you to get out and get her out, because we need to get a wiggle on and get away from this whole area.
Do you want to spend momentum to retain the initiative? Otherwise, it will pass to the other elements in this situation.
I don't know if we need to in this situation.
No, I think we're okay. I think that's a good point, Sherpa. I think the Fremen are under control. Ella's
effectively neutralized.
Yeah.
At this
Ella's.
point.
I mean, short of Ella trying to stab Logan, this could.
Well, she's also under the effect of being trusting.
She's also trusting, yeah. So I think we can hang on to the momentum for now. Yeah.
Also, if I'm not waterlogged, is there even a challenge to get back on the boat? Perhaps. Is it an interesting problem?
I don't think it is at the moment. Because. Now that you're not waterlogged, and Enna is trusting and collaborating, and is not fighting or anything, then I think it's pretty trivial. Doesn't require a skill test to get back on board now that you've had that intervention.
Sweet. So we don't need to keep the momentum to get on the boat.
No.
Thanks, Doctor. I'll slap my inside pocket and all the water squirts out.
Playing things out. We have the Fremen and the Ornithopter. So the Fremen have desperately been trying to salvage their vessel, but it's pretty much run roughshod into the reef and is sinking, leaving them in an unenviable position of trying to swim. Again, not a skill that you find most Fremen warriors have in abundance. I think at this point they opt to sort of like surrender to the authorities. Well, get rescued. Because they don't want to die on this planet, in this place, with their mission not achieved. And so you would see, them in the water, waving desperately to the Ornithopter, getting their attention, communicating that they surrender. The Ornithopter then drops rescue lines, and you see Coastal Guard in all their safety, almost like lifeguard, sort of equipment, descending, and the Fremen agents ignominiously being pulled out of the water to safety by the Coast Guard. I think realistically at this point, with everything all neutralized and cushy. There's not much more threat hanging around in this conflict. So we'll go a bit more into free play. What is it you want to be doing at this point? So effectively the initiative turns over to you. But
I'll ask your woman where the bloody painting is. Or system I'll go over.
We and in no uncertain terms, we explained to her.
Yeah.
We just rescued you from the hired killers who are after you, the rest of your compatriots. We've put it together. You're not going anywhere. There's nowhere for you to go. It's over. Tell us where the painting is. Perhaps you could, be useful to the house in some way.
I mean, so, as Ella and Logan get back on board the vessel and settle down inside of it as the rescue scene unfolds outside, and there will be a bit of back and forth with the freighter captain, who just advises you on what course to best take so that you don't end up in its pathway and you start to exit from the shipping lane. She's labouring also under taking several gallons of water on that she didn't really need and sort of like spitting that up, is listening to you sort of like clearly. And she's saying, the painting is secure. I have it in a small lockup. She has a resigned sort of tone to her voice, but it's clear that she's not trying to wriggle out of this. She knows when she's beaten, and she says, these guys are the ones who hired us to take this thing in the first place.
Run that back again. And can I tell if she's lying? Can I tell if she's like trying to...
Yeah, you can pass that through your through your lie detection.
The hyper awareness. Yes.
Yeah. So this is an assessment of truth. It's an obtain information, so it's an understand, I'd argue, skill-wise that you're leveraging.
We've got an extra point of momentum. I'll spend a point to take 3 dice, and we'll see what we can do here for understand.
D2.
With faith for trying to beat D2. There we go.
Wow, just continuing the trend.
Has it not? I think this. Yeah, I'm not sad about that.
Very nice.
Okay, so 5 successes gives you 3 extra momentum.
3 extra momentum.
So at first blush, first pass, in answer to your assessment, mind-boggling as it might seem, there's no doubt she's 100% telling the truth. As she understands it, these were the people who hired her team to steal the painting in the first place, who have assassinated every other member of the team except for herself.
So sorry, can I ask as well? Like, this is not obtain information. I just want to continue the conversation.
Sure.
I explained to the team as well. But she believes that. I assume that Miles is like driving us someplace safe, like while we're
he's piloting out of
hanging around
ship's
wherever
lane.
this
Yeah,
is
next
in
to
the middle of
thing.
a shipping lane.
yeah, right.
No. We've established you are leaving the shipping lane. You've got the clearance to do so, and you're going the correct way around the reef rather than Logan's interesting diversion through.
And Logan is spitting up the last of the seawater that they've ingested.
Absolutely.
And I'll say, so she believes that to be the truth. The Fremen hired you, then why would they try to kill you if they hired you?
She says, you'd have to ask them that.
There may be more than one action, or they might just be trying to cover their own tracks or the tracks of their agents.
What is so special about this damn painting? Where is this thing?
What was her order after stealing it? Was she meant to just stay in the house until they turned up, and then they turned up and killed everyone, and she ran for it?
She had a. Oh, this is. I don't. These are great questions, but I think you do have an obtain information talent
There is a
that you were
momentum
using.
spent. We do have some.
Yeah.
We do have momentum left over from that roll, right?
I'll be asking Sister Margot with her 2-for-1 questions.
Exactly.
Yeah, ask her there.
Yeah.
Just kind of whisper in the ear.
I take it under advisement.
Yeah. So what were your orders after you stole? What were your directions after you stole the painting?
Once we secured the asset, we were to rendezvous with the Fremen and hand over the painting. That was predetermined. And yet, I learned that my team was murdered by them before we could execute that plan. I'd taken the precaution, however, of moving the asset elsewhere because I didn't trust them.
Miles will pipe up. If we can get a direction of where I should be steering this boat.
Yeah. Well, Sister Margot, you've got an extra question in your 2-for-1 yet, haven't you?
Where were you headed after you went to your Auntie Carran's? We understand that you're going there for secure. Where did you think you were going to go?
I didn't really know where I was going to go. All I knew was that I needed to get away from them unless I wanted to end up like the rest of my team.
Well, unless you want a reintroduction to the rest of the Fremen who are now in Coast Guard custody, I suggest you start playing ball with us.
Well, since you rescued me, and I'm grateful, by the way, and she glances at Logan at this point, and to the pilot.
Your savior, Logan. Yes.
Squirts out some water.
She does the same. I am.
He's just amphibian.
You have a lot in
trait.
common.
He's just gained the trait amphibian from now on. He can just breathe water.
Got flippers.
She can escape the city with me when I move to the countryside and retire. And just be fish people together.
I don't know why it is that I trust you in the way that I do, but I do, and I am being straight with you. I'm telling you what I know, and I want to live.
We'll need the location of the painting.
Then the next step should be
It does belong to somebody very important.
Yeah, she'll immediately hand that over, and you get given from her asset location of the Dune desert scene for painting, which is in a small, imagine one of those small little warehouse like lockups where people can pay for, a little lockup with. She hands you the details, the password, everything that you need to retrieve it. You have that asset now.
Is there a navigable waterway to reach that location?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Miles, do you know this place? Can we reach that from here?
Yeah, you can. It's back towards over to the green. It's ironically not very far away from the the four-way intersection where the secure storage was. She basically used a public storage facility just down the way.
Mhm.
That's why
Oh,
she
yeah.
was on hand at the scene at the time.
Miles was like, yeah, I know where that is, and just spin the boat around and head over that direction.
Yeah. Nice.
Get Matilda to meet us there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can put that call in over the communinet and speak to one of the Chuckle Brothers who take the call and get Matilda sent over. They also say, what is it exactly we're supposed to be doing with all these bodies?
They should be alive.
very
deliver them
tough.
to take him down to the mission down the road. That medical mission.
Take them to Veritas's office. And just leave them in the beanbag.
That's what he stuffs his beanbags with. Wait a minute.
Right, over.
Fremen warrior bodies.
Understood. Barry out. So you are making good speed back over to the vicinity of the green and the location of the secure lockup. I mean, you've got her with you, so you could question her at your leisure, sort of like now, and you've got all that momentum in the bank to obtain as much information as you like, really.
Yeah. Does anybody have any?
Can we? Well, I was going to say, aside from that, can we ring through to the guys that arrested the Fremen and see that they actually arrested them and are getting them back, or did they all get murdered as soon as they got them onto the ornithopter?
The ornithopter just kind of take off into the distance.
Yeah.
Just get
Because I know
dropped
Rayla
at
was
you.
like, don't get them into melee range. Straight away, they're down the line hugging them and picking them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Everybody
so
wants to be a hero.
absolutely. Just to end this scene off, then, before we cut into another scene, you can get the Coast Guard on the blower and communicate with, what was his name, Commander Jenkins, Ornithopter Flight 309, and you are patched through and put through to a Flight Commander Willikins, Jenkins' second in command. Who comes over on the blower and says, roger that, House Obscura. We're a bit busy right up here right now. What can I do for you?
The Fremen are not to be harmed. Oh, okay.
It might be a little late for that.
Oh, good.
Oh dear.
He says, not long after we brought them on board, they proceeded to make it very clear that if we didn't take them to where they wanted to go, we would be in significant harm's way, and they committed a serious act of harm against two of our flight crew. And Commander Jenkins decided, in order to save the lives of the flight crew, he would accede to the Fremen's request. They're no longer on board. We've put them down, but we have alerted local authorities and ecstasy authorities that there are Fremen interlopers, Fremen intrusive, dangerous agents, and there is a ecstasy worldwide alert to their presence right now.
Drawing out my las gun as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Emperor will be thrilled to hear this.
Okay, as long as do any of your men need medical attention, please proceed to the nearest medical facility?
We are just setting down Ecstasy General right now as we speak, and you hear the sound of the ornithopter landing, and the doors of the ornithopter being sort of like flung open, and you hear the sounds of medical teams at work to rescue the Coast Guard.
Well, hang on there, Willikins, before you disappear. Where did the Fremen tell you to go?
Heat type beams you through the Communinet the exact coordinates for them.
Right.
It's a small island in the archipelago. That you don't immediately recognize. But it's designated Albatross.
Well, this Fremen got here. Presumably, they have a way of getting home. I mean, I don't know.
We need to protect Ella from these Fremen more than we need to find these Fremen.
Yeah, sure.
And we need to recover this painting more than we need to find these Fremen.
Wait, they're going to come to us.
Exactly.
We have Ella and the painting. We don't need to find them. They're going to find us.
Exactly. So we just need to make sure Ella doesn't get killed by a bunch of Fremen.
100%.
Is our main problem. And that we get the painting before they do.
Well, we just need to buzz it to the painting now, don't we? And grab it.
That
And
sounds
back to ours.
like that would be the next scene, which would be at the lockup. If you're happy with that, we could decay momentum and we can arrive at the lockup.
I
and
am,
pursue the
but
painting. But is there anything you want to do first?
Yeah, I want to know how it works with, like, Logan being waterlogged. How does that carry on indefinitely until he dies of old age? Because I can get rid of it for that scene, but how do we get rid of it, like, for the rest of his life?
He's going to carry on having that complication that will return at the end of the scene, until he receives proper medical treatment and something that will permanently remove the complication.
Well, yeah, so I'm a physician, I have a doctor's bag. That's why I'm asking, can I just do something to heal him up?
You can.
Perhaps while we're en route.
Yeah.
Bit of medical intervention.
Drink this whiskey.
First time someone's actually been in any way harmed physically in this game, so we'll have a quick squiz.
Well, one of us has been harmed physically in this game.
Yeah.
There's a face dancer assassin that can't raise their hand when we ask who's been harmed. Please raise your hands.
He still has another hand. They still have. Still have one. I left him with one.
One good one.
Yeah.
They'll be twice as good with that hand now because it's their own.
They'll have to be.
That one bodyguard, we hurt
They
his
just can't
feelings
clap anymore.
a lot.
Yeah, the bodyguard. Dolph Lundgren, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that really helped the Fremen is that they have a talent about resisting defeat. They're not easy to...
That and the Ornithopter Commander's shocking ineptitude.
He's a Coast Guard,
Yeah, they're not. They're not they're not soldiers. They're not designed for. I mean,
They're like Baywatch guys.
They should have had the good.
And this is just a glimpse of how
their rescue instinct is so strong that it's like, don't be careful, don't let them near you.
Right. Well, this is a glimpse of how badass the Fremen are. I mean, they're one of the premier fighting forces in the universe.
Definitely tougher than the Hoth.
We're just finding that out, though, right? Because the general knowledge is that these are some
they're
some
desert
ruffian
bums.
sand sand-caked desert dwellers with very little weaponry or sophistication in terms of combat.
Yeah, but no, this is the first sign. We're like, wait, how did they overcome them so easily? How did we? Oh. When I interview those pilots, we want to interview them, you know, give a first-hand accounting of what they.
My first question is, did I tell you or did I not tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah, melee range. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
What they need is a few good painting cases to lock them in, like we do.
Yeah.
So, I take it you've got a focus in medicine or something like that. You've certainly
got a
got an
focus
asset
in
you can leverage.
Human anatomy.
Nice. That would be handy.
I have human
Oh
anatomy.
yeah, water doesn't
There
go
we
in
go.
those lungs. That's lungs. Water doesn't go in there.
Obviously.
Just pump the leg and all the water comes out.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to do, I think. I give you out of my doctor's bag, I give you one of the little stress things with the eyes. Just here, hold on to this.
Yeah, do you want to make a
Focus on the
D2
stress.
skill test? See if you could neutralise more permanently that complication. It's a fairly straightforward procedure.
Yeah.
Like dubious
Yes,
healing methods, like a Denizen's trademark at this point.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like dubious healing method should be a focus.
Oh my god. Maybe
Oh
I could
my
put that
god,
in.
yeah.
Human anatomy. Dubious healing method.
We're gonna take some
You know,
chewing
I'm
gum
a
and some duct tape,
drop
jam it
out.
into the bullet hole.
Yeah, yeah. They put a bit
Remind me
of
to tell you
duct
about the
tape on
gong bath later.
top. Oh no. Alright, so it's a D2.
Yeah.
I can leverage suck training, make it a D1.
Nice.
And we've got a couple of extra points of momentum there if you want to really notch it up.
Yeah, maybe. So it's a D1. I'll use. So what am I? I'm going to use understand
Yes.
or discipline. That's good. I mean, they're both the same. I use discipline so I don't like throw up while I'm trying to heal him up or anything.
With difficult patience.
Coughing up like gross bilge water.
To avoid
Test your
getting
patience.
distracted by all of the jokes that I'm telling while you're trying to.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'll use discipline.
So it's
use,
CPR, right? You're doing Craig pulmonary resuscitation? Is that-
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes, I'm going to use I Believe in My House again,
Okay.
I think. Or I'm going to use Everybody Deserves a Chance again, which I use a lot for.
Even
for
a loose
Logan.
cannon.
A lot on me.
Even a loose cannon like
Yeah,
Logan.
I do, yeah. All the time I'm like, this time he's going to like, just like prove that he's not a completely against the rules and blah blah. But he is because he's a loose cannon. So I'll spend one momentum. And I'll use the focus of anatomy.
I'll stop fruitlessly
Hey,
searching
brilliant.
the compendium.
Cool.
Awesome.
So I used one momentum and then I got one back.
Very nice. Okay.
Oh, I get an extra one. Because it was a D2 and I made it a D1, right?
Correct.
An extra momentum, what can I use that for?
Want to obtain information about my body?
I want to obtain information about
How,
Logan's
has that
That's how
line
we-
ever? Sorry, has that line ever worked? Or
That's how we got the not safe for work tag on today's episode.
I'll spend. Well, see again, you can only do it for the one.
Is this
scene,
where we
can't
learn that?
Well-
Logan Ward is in fact has the same traits as Mr. Scaramanga.
you? Yeah, an extra nip.
Yeah.
Can I spend the extra one that I can't bank and one, give him a trait for this following scene, which is like, pumped up. You know what I mean? He's like,
Energized.
he was in a bad
Oh,
way.
no.
Yeah. Now he's like better, but he's
On the
feeling
mend.
like
Yeah.
on the mend. Yeah, so he's feeling like, yeah.
Highly caffeinated.
I really like that idea.
Wired. He's feeling wired.
I really like that idea. A little naughty voice in my GM head, though, is saying that you could take, maybe not pumped up, but following the spirit of it, go with undefeatable. Because I think that would work so well with loose cannon.
Invincible.
Nothing can kill me.
I'll go one further.
Yeah.
Indefatigable.
Oh.
Love it.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Hardly ever get to use that word in a sentence.
No, that one doesn't come up much.
Doesn't come up in a lot
So you
of
could
casual conversation.
Switch out that negative trait and put in that complication and put in indefatigable as a trait.
Yeah, it's only for the next scene.
For the next
I guess,
scene,
and
but yeah, but it'll, yeah.
Unless we spend
Since
too
it's
more
temporary, I'll just make a note
make
in the
it
chat.
permanent.
Fair dues.
Good one. If we run into some enemies that aren't too clever, you can just tell them you're indefatigable. And while they're trying to figure that
Yeah,
out.
what? Yeah.
Bamboozle them. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, any other
All right.
tail end of activities before we decay momentum? Doesn't seem like...
I don't think
No.
anything else.
No, good.
Except for just chatting to her, but we're doing that on the way, aren't we?
Yeah.
As we go, chatting to the woman.
Like on the way in, I think it's like, have you ever played Max Payne? Whenever you try to leave the game or you die, it all says something, and then your two options are, I was too tired, but I couldn't give up. So you get that one of them. The doctor pumped out the water, but the darkness remained. But I had to carry on. And he chooses that option and carries on.
So you will have, at the opening of the next scene then, have piloted your vessel to rendezvous with Matilda so that you could switch vehicles and drive to the small lookup. So we cut to the interior of Logan's car, and you are driving to the small lookup. That way you can have an early low difficulty test conversation with Ella before you arrive to claim the artwork, and any chit chat that you want to have with her. You know, she's obviously pretty downcast because she's lost the whole of her heist team, and narrowly and somewhat shaken at having narrowly plummeted to her death, and is relieved to have been saved by you, but the trusting trait that she had, maybe the edge of that is wearing off as the full implications of her situation are starting to sink into her, and the adrenaline of survival near death is starting to wear off too.
I'm going to lean over to Sister Margot and tell her quietly, I'd love to know as much as possible about how they got this job and from who.
I was just thinking the same thing. There's still a way out of this for you, Ella.
Yeah, she eyes you.
You've given us the painting. We're going to retrieve it. And the Fremen are still after you. I don't think they're going to be the kind of convinced when you just say you just don't have it anymore. They killed the rest of your team and they didn't have it. So in order for you to be protected, you're going to need to give us something useful. Like
what?
Information.
Apart from the painting, what else do you need?
Apart from
I'll
the
just
painting.
tell them you have it, and then they can
We do
murder
have it.
you as
That's
well.
fine. And we have an army, and we'll be fine. But I'm more worried about you and how you were able to infiltrate the heist to begin with. We'd like details. How did you get the contact? Who reached out to you?
The more you tell us about your contacts with the Fremen, the easier it is for us to divert investigative interest away from you and justify protecting you.
I can see the sense of that. I don't see that I really have much in the way of options right now. So, ask away. I'll give you the honest truth.
Who hired? You said the Fremen hired you. How did they contact you?
Directly, in person. They just turned up, knew where we were, knew who we were, knew everything about us, knew what we were capable of and what we could do, clearly well informed. Maybe someone like the broker or someone or one of the other criminal smuggling elements on ecstasy gave them the information that they needed. But they approached
Other
us
smuggling
direct.
elements like who?
I said I'll tell you everything you need to know in order to sort out this deal with the Fremen.
Hmm.
I'm not snitching on the rest of the underworld for you, sister.
Snitching is such an ugly word. Let's say divulging information necessary for your survival.
Let's say snitching. What's your next
You
question?
call it what you like.
Let's stay focused on the investigation of the painting and the Fremen. I don't want to split hairs too finely over who's smuggling what, given the purpose of the vehicle we're currently on. Or wait, we're no longer on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back in Matilda.
Yeah.
Which, for all we know, could be smuggling something too.
True that.
I'm more interested in how the four of you all in the back seat.
Just crammed in.
Like this. Like just
Yeah.
having the world's most awkward
Just
conversation.
looking over at each other like...
Well, I'm guessing the Bene Gesserit just kind of
holds
fold
herself in
themselves.
half.
Yeah.
Okay. I can just go two-dimensional. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where did Sister Marco go? Oh wait, the armrest.
Can I ask what specifically, like the details of what she was asked to pinch? Like we know it was the painting. Did they just say, has it seen number 4, or was it the painting with the flowers? You know, the specifics about the job that they got given.
Yeah, the leader of the off-worlders, Watik, ordered us specifically to take the desert scene number 4 with the painting of the purple flowers.
Were you paid in advance?
Yes.
In person?
Yes.
Miles gonna pop up. Where's the money?
Safely stowed.
I think she's earned her money. After all this, I'm not worried about her money.
You did steal a painting.
We've done most of the work. I feel like we should be getting a bit of that money.
You would think that, Miles. She says, if you take that off me, then you might as well just hand me direct over to the Fremen. Be done with it.
We won't take the money off you. Don't think that, Ella.
Let's not take
what's it
anything off
called?
the table here.
Ignore them.
Yeah, I mean,
What's
she's
the
reading the
fella's
body
name?
language
What
of Miles and the sister, as you say what you're saying, to try and judge whether what you're saying is a fair representation of what could happen.
What's the man's name? Watik, did you say?
Watik.
Watik.
Yes.
Sorry, I wrote it in the notes
Did-
wrong. I apologize.
Did you hear them talking to each other, and did you hear anything else about like why they wanted this one painting or anything? Did they accidentally let anything else slip? You think about what they talked about in front of you or anything? You know, there were all those other paintings. Why did they want this one with the flowers, and why is it like they've got you to pinch it and then come and kill you for it?
I heard them
Why didn't
use,
they just steal it themselves?
I heard them use a word which I didn't understand at the time. I believe it translates from their native tongue to sacred abomination or something like that.
What was the word exactly?
Oh, she'll give it to you in Arakim, but really badly translated.
Bad accent.
Yeah, really terrible accent, and she tries to, she tells you it sort of like phonetically.
We Google it on our Communet thing.
Yeah.
Say it into Google Translate and see what comes out.
I think we might be getting a little bit Larry and Jihadi there. We can always run it past the obscure switchboard.
Are guys privy to the information that our previous team were?
I think you're fairly sort of like well briefed by Veritas.
You've read the file or whatever.
Yeah, I mean Veritas would give you, operational information that you need to know. He wouldn't leave out anything that would impede
It was
you.
relevant, yeah. All right. What was the name of the pilot that took the artist to the place where the flowers were? Because we spoke to them about that before. Well, our other guys did. I don't expect it to be Watik, but whatever that name is, I'll ask her, were any of them called this other name?
No member of the Fremen team. I mean, of the names she knows of the Fremen insurgents, they didn't wear name badges or bandy their names around terribly, sort of like freely. She shakes her head and doesn't recognise that name.
Was the Fremen Death Squad, the assassins, were they the same ones that had contracted you, or was it a different group of Fremen?
The same. And she's sort of like looking out the window as Logan is doing his slewing around.
Driving.
Yeah, on the freeway. Yeah.
Well, it's in the back, by the way. Remember?
Packed in tight, it's fine.
Yeah.
I imagine the layout of this vehicle, is more than enough to be able to carry you relatively comfortably.
Is it like a cab where it's got forward seats and backward seats, like a London flight cab?
Yeah, this is the future, so, it's got all the funky ways of modifying the seating outlaying to be comfortable enough.
Does it have beanbags?
It does. Oh, no, it does not.
No.
Some hard wooden bench seats.
Nah.
It did start off life as a SWAT van, and it's
Yeah.
just slowly mutated into
Just-
whatever it is now. So
Yeah.
it probably has got some seats in it.
Yeah. She's reading the road signs and, clearly making a judgment about how long she's got before you arrive at the lockup.
Hey, did you see Jeremy?
Reynolds.
I don't know what his surname is.
Yeah, that little
might not be one of the
punk-ass
Reynolds
kid.
brothers.
Yeah, I saw him. He's okay.
He's all right. That's good.
I sent him home. I said he was going to get into a lot of trouble following me around.
Where do
That's
you mean,
another
Walter?
loose end tied up.
Oh, yeah.
Can't stand those loose ends. They just fray in his soul.
Yeah. I'll pull one hard enough, I might unravel.
A whole weave of time. Yeah, let's stop doing this. It's tearing my head in. Is there anything else I can tell you that might persuade you to spare me or make me safe so that I don't end up like my friends?
Yeah, this location we're going to. What's it like? Is this a secure warehouse or is it just...
It's a public warehouse. There's
Garbage.
a guy with a buzzer that will let you in if you wink at him the right way. It's not secure.
That's bad.
Well, let's.
And also good.
Let's hope nobody's been winking at him the right way.
Yeah. How long ago did you put the painting in this vaguely secure lockup?
Well, looking at her non-existent chronometer.
20 minutes ago.
Yeah, no. I mean, she secured it there as the rest of her team went to their safe house. As far as they knew, they actually had the painting with them, but she'd switched it so that she could secure it.
Right, yeah.
And she saw, the ornithopter arrive and all the crates be delivered in. Of course, it wasn't in there because they'd got it out. Yeah, and she'll tell you the whole story about how they did the heist. And, maybe there's a report to put into Veritas about the shocking lack of security and the standards
100%,
of
yeah. We
the
want to know.
security detail. And that failure,
Yeah.
I believe that failure that Sergeant Bravo made in episode 3 on his security suite.
We don't talk about that, okay? Great.
We don't know about that.
Fine. We don't.
Ocelot don't even know about that. He didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
And William didn't tell anyone.
Oh dear. The sins of the past. Yes, they come back to haunt.
Is there a chance that they just thought she double-crossed them with the painting and that's why they killed him? Or did they kill him anyway before they twigged that the painting was gone? Can we work that out from what she's saying?
I mean,
So because otherwise the Fremen would just have to kill everyone they come in contact with. If there's no loose, if they don't believe in loose ends, they just have to kill everyone.
No, because they would have just killed
with.
this group of 6 kids that
Right.
nicked the painting and then disappeared.
yeah.
And there won't be any loose ends,
And that seems to be
I think it's
that seems to have been their intent. Given that, remember that the thieves were caught by surprise, so the Fremen didn't come in waiting to find out if the painting was there. They came in to kill them.
yeah. They came in to kill him, yeah. So I think it's because anyone who's... Well, yeah, you're right, because it can't just be anyone who's seen the painting, because then they have to kill everybody who went to the exhibition.
Including the woman. Oh my God, Talia
Yeah.
may be in danger if she painted it.
She definitely would be, yeah, she definitely would be. I think it's to do with, like, the location of the where this mysterious non-existent flowers is.
Right.
So the whole thing about, like, the flowers don't grow there.
Yeah, I didn't think
So-
flowers grew on Arrakis.
So
This is
either
it was reported to be a hellhole.
Yeah, so if it's not a fake painting, which, is it Talia, the artist, said she painted what she saw,
Right,
then
but
somebody's
I mean,
planted
she's an artist,
those
so,
flowers. She was tripping out. But it means somebody's put
God,
those
please.
flowers there where there aren't those
Yeah.
flowers.
Probably wanted to
That's a
destroy
good
the
question.
painting, set it on fire like
Yeah.
a burnt out car.
Yeah, so that nobody believed so nobody's
Talia
curious to
will be
go
next.
to... I think so nobody's curious to go to Arrakis and find where these paintings are. Because there's something there.
So doesn't that put?
Aside
Shouldn't we get
from
on the
the
communet and make sure that
Talia's
Talia
all right, yeah.
is
Yeah,
under
that's a good
protection?
idea.
Because if they've come after the people who found the painting,
Yeah,
they're gonna be going after. If
She
they
was
can't get
there.
that, they may be after the artist.
yeah, definitely, yeah. We ring her.
As you
again.
are, discussing the implications of this to whatever degree you are in game. Some of that might have been over the table talk, and you're reaching for the CommunionNet controls. An incoming call flashes in. The speaker blares to life, and a voice says, B-Team Mobile CSI Unit, incoming call from Noble Aesthetic. Incoming call from Noble Aesthetic.
That'll be Veritas.
Do we in game? Do we know what that's?
Yeah, that's Veritas. Okay. Well done. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll spell
Well,
noble
Logan.
without knob.
The speaker crackles to life.
I quickly switch it off again and goes, "Oh, sorry. He was just talking to somebody out the window. It was just a driver. Someone cut him up."
Yeah. Veritas comes over the line and says, I'm given to understand that you're having a very interesting time right now. I'd like a report, please. I'm getting a lot of information flowing my way from a certain commander of the Coast Guard.
Oh yeah, we did do that.
Please report.
I would just, unless somebody else is going to step in, I would just tell him all the ins and outs of what's going on. Like, we've got Ella sat here in the car. We're on the way to get the paint in that's in a lockup. Did she say how long it had been in there? There's a chance it might have been pinched from there already, but we're going to go there and see anyway.
I see.
The Fremen that attacked her, blah, blah. I'll just tell him everything, do you know what I mean?
Okay, so you do a straight talking info dump for
I do, yeah.
Veritas. Okay.
Blah, 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 blah.
Not obscuring or hiding anything.
I don't see any point because he knows everything anyway. If you try and hide stuff from him, you're just putting yourself in.
We haven't really done anything that would not be aligned with what he'd want us to be doing anyway, right? So, yeah.
Everything we've done here has been in alignment of our remit.
Yeah.
So there's nothing.
We've totally been on the House Obscura dime here.
He says,
"Yeah,
very good. Please be advised that we have been contacted by a Mr. Watik who wishes to have a dialogue with us at our earliest convenience."
Nice. Okay. Let's recover that painting and go have a talk with meet the Fremen. That won't go bad. That won't go terrible.
I'd spell dialogue without die.
I'll inform Veritas that Watik is a skilled assassin.
Yeah. He's the leader of the Fremen.
He just says, acknowledged. Please ensure you obtain the asset. All other ramifications are secondary. Primary goal is to retrieve the asset intact.
Okay.
I think you probably see Ella going,
Yeah, that's you. You're secondary. That's you. You're secondary. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually good news in the sense that, like, you might be able to slip away unnoticed at some point.
Yeah.
She cast a glance at you. She seems, she's sort of like weighing that up, and I mean, she doesn't know now, out of you lot, whom to trust here. Really, I think she feels a bit sort of like lost and frightened.
No, she should. Yeah, no, you're like, she's pinched. I mean, she's like now, and she's about to lose the asset she was hired to steal. The people who hired her are trying to kill her. She has no idea what's going on. I mean, she's in it way over her head.
With all these thoughts rolling around in her brain and in your collective minds, Logan, you sort of like steer into this ramshackle little shithole of a storage facility. It's an awful, like one of those awful yellow corrugated buildings with a terrible blue logo and the chain link fencing around the outside, and the fence is off its sort of like hinge. There's a little, almost like a lean-to of a shack with a blinking neon light that says security, and there's a guy eating a jelly donut as you drive up to where he's got the sort of like barrier.
Yeah.
All of us do it.
Everybody leaves out.
Yeah.
If you look through the side window, you can see me drying out my las gun on the car heater.
You know, I think Ella would say, because she seems pretty desperate, says, you know, if you permit me, I'll get us through.
Yeah, definitely. I'll go with her all the time though.
Yeah, she
kind
doesn't need to get out of the vehicle at this point. She's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like winds the window down, presses the button,
Yeah.
and
Does
says,
the wink.
"Yeah, hey Larry, everything good? Just some friends helping me with moving my stuff."
Hey Larry, I'll wave out the window.
Yeah. And
Hi, Larry.
And Larry says, "Oh, yeah, sure, Amy, that's no problem at all, but you have to give me the code." And Ella says, "Yeah, the code's 3572 Alpha Z." And, you know, he buzzes you through, and that's the extent of the security. And you...
Thanks, Larry.
Yep, you head in, there's a place to park up, and you can enter the
Bye,
facility.
Larry.
See you later, Larry.
Larry's on his second jelly donut right now. You are in...
Laters.
Yeah. You're no longer relevant to his obesity. Come on. So you pull up outside the storage facility. I mean, you have her key card and codes and everything. You know, the key that buzzes you through in the outer door, and then it's a set of narrow corridors, lots of intersections to it. You've all seen Storage Wars, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those facilities. The lights are blinking. Ping, 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 ping. There's a bit of dripping water. If it was a trait that was hazardous, Dingy 2 would apply here. For damn sure.
Spooky 1.
Yeah.
You know?
But maybe to Rayla Kefter, it occurs to you, you know, I mean, you remember the words that you said an episode or two ago, that the best place to acquire an asset is in transit?
Mm-hmm.
This place is hella insecure, dingy, dark. You know, if they were to attempt to snatch it back, this would be the perfect place to catch you all unawares. And you just find that thought rolling around in your head, because it's exactly what you would do if you were in their shoes. Just putting it out there.
So, we're going to split up.
Yay!
We're gonna have some people outside keeping an eye on things,
All right.
and some people going in to get the painting.
So we have we have one zone of the immediate outside car park where you have Matilda. That is zone 1 outside. Then we have the interior of the lockup. That's zone 2, within which there is the specific storage unit assigned to Ella. And then the final zone is, I say, zone 3, which would be outside the compound that this lockup is in, which is the main thoroughfare that gets you out of this area.
Okay, we'll want 2 people to go remain outside. 3
Volunteers.
to go in.
Okay. Could we have, if we
should split up an observant person and a battle person.
Could we have, on the way over, also called for some of our monkeys to come and hang out with us? That we have, like...
Yeah, I mean, if you want to...
You know...
You can create assets, which could be people turning up.
They call in the conscripts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah, if you've got it as a talent, yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's an asset for so.
Okay. Yeah, so you'd have called them in. You've got that as an asset, so you can deploy that asset.
Yeah, I could maybe, because like that's 7-Eleven is just across the road, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
The original
Yeah.
place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I could get the
Chorizo
Reynolds
place.
to keep an eye out for me, as soon as I let him go earlier. He's still my debtor.
He's very well disposed to you because you've got him on a slow debtor chain, right?
Yeah. I think we generally work together a lot. We just make a big show of like fighting all the time. Like he helps me, I help him, but we have to keep up a public image of being constantly in conflict.
Is he your huggy bear? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh man, I haven't thought of Huggy Bear in a minute. That's great.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. Okay, so you've got the conscript assets, and you can have leveraged. I mean, you could.
I'm going to tell the conscript. I'm going to use the conscripts as a perimeter. Essentially, if anybody sees anybody approaching, matching the Fremen description.
So you want them in zone 3 outside. Where do you want the Reynolds then? Because
Actually, we can. Yeah, we'll leave the Reynolds outside because that's their normal stomping ground.
Yeah.
yeah. They're used to.
Yeah, that's
being
where
there.
that's where they're best. Hanging outside the store. Like James Silent Bob.
So you could have the
Yeah.
conscripts inside zone 1, but before, in the area, before you
Or we
have
can
to
put
go
them in
for
the car
secu-
park. If we've
in
got
the
the
car
Reynolds in zone 1, we can put the conscripts in zone 2. I'll sit tight with the conscripts and run the out. So, Logan, do you want
Well,
to stay
different
with
numbering
the Reynolds
scheme, I
brothers?
Yeah, I'm really confused now. So
Because I got 3 as the outside,
3 is
the
outside,
car park, and
1
2
is
as
car
the
park,
lockup.
2 is the inside. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it depends. I mean, I could stay like closer to where the action's going to happen and just have told the Reynolds to have their gang make a lot of noise if something's kicking off outside. Because they're not going to be any use fighting anything. They're just lookouts and runners, really.
They can kung fu fight.
Yeah, I think I'll do
That's
the same
true.
with the conscripts then, and then we can all go inside because that's where the action's going to be, like you say.
Alright.
That's where the painting's going to be. That's where Ella is.
So do you want the conscripts outside or inside? Just want to clarify.
Car park,
Zone 1. Done.
zone 1. Yeah.
Reynolds.
Can we not use
zone
numbers?
3.
It's too confusing.
Outside
car
the
park,
Reynolds,
outside,
car park the
inside.
conscripts, inside you lot.
Yep.
Yeah,
Unless
sounds
anyone,
good to me.
unless anyone else wants out. Great. Okay, cool. So it is a split scene, but it's just a load of NPCs. I can handle that. Great. Okay. Yeah, so heading into the interior of the warehouse. I mean, you've got the key card to get into the lockup. And of course, Ella will take the lead and show you through, the little maze of dingy corridors to where her individual storage facility is. When you arrive, the door to the security unit, the storage unit, is down, locked, padlocked, and looks intact.
Well, just out of paranoia, and because it's a new scene, I'd like to do this again.
Oh yeah,
Like
constantly watching.
a skill test to detect danger or hidden enemies. Like, as if anything about that padlock or door is like ropey, or if there's anyone hanging around or anything.
Okay. Being vigilant. Whenever you attempt a skill test to detect danger or hidden enemies. Yeah. So, I mean, the dingy nature and cramped confines of this place presents something of a challenge. It's ill lit. So it's normal difficulty of 2, but being all dingy and gloomy, it becomes a 4. I don't know if you've got a trait that you reduce it by 2 though, so it becomes a 2 again. If you're doing an understand
I don't have any
test.
other traits.
No, nothing else to leverage.
I don't have any other traits unless we can leverage discreet because we're trying to like, you know, keep quiet as we go in there, I suppose. But
I don't.
That would work for stealth, I think, more than this.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If Rayla has said, look, there could be people hiding anywhere, you know, and if Rayla's like mentioned how
But we're trying to detect
shady it
things,
is.
not so much sneak past things.
So D2, I'll use discipline.
Nice. That would work. Keeping your cool. You need that when you've got a loose cannon at your back and a Bene Gesserit sister at the front.
Well, I'm going to use faith then. I believe in my house because I do, you know what I mean? We're good at this. I say. And then what have we got? 4. I'll spend a momentum again for 1 dice. I'm rolling 3 dice. I'll use the focus of observe because I'm looking about.
Cool.
See what I can see.
Yeah.
It's a D2, you said?
Yes.
My God.
So
D2
I can
and 1
support
dice.
here. Can I support? Because
Yeah.
I'm also pretty good with. I've got danger signs and traps, and am a tactician, so I can also look around for whatever was triggering my spidey sense.
Okay, you can support, but we do have a complication on that 19, though, this risky situation.
I can also use hyper awareness, and I'd also like to observe the area as well, like, see what's going on. So if I'll back you up, assisting.
Then we all end up with that. Then we all end up with that. Maybe the complication affects the whole group. Who knows?
We've got
If
momentum
there's-
we can spend, or we can spend the 2
We
threat.
can buy it off.
and
Yeah,
buy it
let's do
off.
that.
It's not the end of the world. I don't think that's.
Yeah, let's buy off the complication.
Oh, what is the complication first?
Oh, I could have got away with not having
Make him think of one. Haha. Love it.
I think the complication is that, you know, as you're making your way there, your danger sense is starting to spike. I mean, we haven't got the assist in yet. You've kind of failed, but you've seen someone lurking in the shadows a couple of little corridors down from where the storage unit itself is. As you pass by, you just catch sight of some movement. So there's someone who has observed your passing.
Okay, I think we can weather that. I'm going to say this is duty, because I view it as my response. Without a command structure, victory is impossible, and I view this as a tactical situation where it's my responsibility to drag people.
Yeah, sounds right.
And I've got 1 dice because I'm supporting.
Yep.
And I've got 2 focuses that apply, but so I'm going to roll with a focus.
Oh,
There
Chris,
we go.
Well played.
I was playing for a complication, but
1 back.
God of Dice.
I don't know if we
betrayed
need
me.
me to also assist then, since we're like, I don't know.
Yeah,
How we
don't risk
feeling?
the complication.
Yeah, because like it's a
Oh, but we need all the hyper awareness that we can get in this situation. We
I'm
might be
sure
missing
that
something
as a
crucial.
GM that you do. I'm sure that you need all the complications. I mean, hyper awareness that you can get.
No? Oh. Fair dues. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna opt out on this one. I'll just be
Yeah, so
I get my actually have my bodkin, my like little knife out, like in my hand, like ready to go.
yeah. So as
cool.
Eula's alarm bells are ringing, and Rayla, you know, you are your natural surveillance instincts sort of like kick in. You pay closer attention to this movement, and you then see a little bit of illumination. These appear to be a pair of young lovers who are taking advantage of the discreet location to make out with each other and aren't a threat.
I'm like, look there, look there. Make me paranoid as well. Look
I didn't
there.
mean to stab them. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, shit, sorry. I'll patch them back up with the chewing gum and duct tape. Fine.
I'm just going to walk over to them and say, yeah.
You know.
They're doing all this, you know.
Scram.
Yeah, and these young jive turkeys don't stop to you know.
See, this is when I wish I had the voice.
Yeah, they just they take your advice and hurriedly sort of like exit, seeing the whole lot of you. I mean, you know, some of you are tooled up and you're all pretty hefty, and you've got official. Some of you might have official badges and emblems on, but anyway, they don't like the look of you, and you outnumber them.
We're a
and
total
kids.
buzzkill.
They leg it. Yeah. So you can make your way unimpeded to the storage unit. As I described, it's intact. You can easily bypass the chain and the security. And the doors slowly sort of like ratchet up. There's not much in here, but there is a roughly 10-foot long tube.
Bingo.
I wonder if that could be it.
Well, I guess we do the obligatory check. Check for traps, like it's D&D.
Check for traps. God. No,
You know, check
Bad
for
enough that
bombs
we
and
just
shit.
found something that's 10 feet. I feel like we're getting the 10-foot pole and the check for traps.
Yeah.
I mean, Ella will reassure you. You know, she says, "There's I didn't have time for anything elaborate or nefarious. It's just what it is." And she'll even pop.
That's how you left everything?
Yes. Not that there. I mean, by everything you mean a tube and some magazines. That's everything.
Right. As in, like, yeah. This is. I'm just making sure that, like, the magazines were there the last time Ella saw that, and it's not. And the magazines aren't ticking. Okay.
No, nothing like that appears to be occurring. It's all cushy, but paranoia levels are high, and I think that's probably sort of like feeding into how you're all feeling and acting at the moment. It's exactly as it should be, she says.
Okay. Do we hear any word from the outside lads at the moment? Or anything?
Well, I was just about to say, you know, one of the Reynolds, you know, sort of like squawks onto the communinet, you know, over the short range sort of like frequency that they have, and patches direct through to Logan and says, boss, who are these fucking gnarly looking thugs out here? They look like criminals or something, prisoners? Who are these guys?
It's a two-way conversation.
Yeah.
You can
What's
take
going on
them.
out
They're
How many
chumps.
are
You can
there?
take them.
I don't want Reynolds getting killed. He's just a mole rat. I eat him.
No, if you care about these thugs, if you care about your gang members at all, you should tell them not to engage. I don't know, man. I don't, like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Save yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's some
I'll try
low
and get some
lives.
info.
There's some low lives out here we don't recognise. They're not from around here.
How many of them are there?
10.
10, shit the bed. Stay away from them,
Holy
Jeremy. Stay away from them.
You're the boss.
They don't happen to be wielding bones, do they?
No. Okay, we'll keep it on
Bone
the down
knives?
low. No. They look tooled up.
Yeah. Stay away from them, Jeremy. Thanks for the heads up. I'll tell everyone. I've got company.
Back in the lockup. Lock. Shut the door.
All gone out.
Yeah.
You guys,
Grab a copy of Knit and Natter.
Knit
From the
and
magazine.
Natter from the magazine. Yes, so you are hauled up in the little lockup unit, and I believe, Miles, you had just retrieved a small lockbox of credits. Got that tucked away in your clothing. And you'd asked Ella Carran to lead you to the back door. Having received intelligence, there's an awful lot of angry-looking hoodlums, ne'er-do-wells, flooding through towards this little lock-up facility. So Ella Carran leads you through a series of sharp turns, some of them sort of like cutting between storage sort of like facilities with the lights blinking on and off in places. I believed you passed a couple of teenagers having a little tete-a-tete at one stage, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you arrive at what is effectively, judging from the signage, a fire exit, a rear door. What would you like to do? It's a door.
Oh no, a door.
No.
You can't stop
Let's
that.
open the door.
This early.
We'd like to see if it's.
Does
you
it
know,
does it have one of those little glass
does it
frosted
look alarmed?
things in it? Can we see out? Have a little window? Or is it just a solid door?
No, it does have a little viewing window, and you can see just out to the back lot. There's only about 20-30 feet before you see some see the rear fencing, high wire, and then the thoroughfare beyond, and you know there would be cars and other wheeled transport and hover transport sort of thrumming along that bit of carriageway.
Oh. I mean, you know, Logan, you're kind of in charge, detective.
I am.
We're going out here? Yeah.
I don't remember anyone agreeing to
The
that.
actual cop.
Cool.
Right, I'm
I'll
gonna
open the
open the
door
door
and
then.
have a sneaky look outside then.
Oh, there we go. Well, no.
I'll do it gently. Alright. I won't kick the door down, not this time.
Okay, so
Because I'm a loose cannon, I'm going to open it gently.
Yeah, no one was expecting
Never know what I'm
that,
going to do.
yeah, so this door needs a bit of grunt in order to get it open, but you know, you put your shoulder to it and give it a shove, and eventually it gives up resisting, opens up. It's probably at this point that you hear a scuffle and some shouting coming from inside the lockup facility, back from where back of the way in which you actually sort of like entered. Sounds like these thugs have this gang have got in, and that they are accosting every other individual who is checking out their personal lockup and is inside at the moment, judging from the noise that's being made. You can hear echoing sounds of things being trashed and a few shouts, and then high speed running, pounding footsteps getting closer towards you. As you break open the door, there's some fresh air and the noise of the road traffic intensifies.
File out, shut the door behind us, wedge it shut.
I was just gonna say, can we wedge it?
Wedge
Can we like jam something in there to?
Yeah, I think to make enough, unless you can create an asset or something like that, jamming it up is going to take some kind of bit of jury rigging in order to do that sort of like effectively.
So can I look around for something to jam it with as an obtain information? And because then if I find something that's even remotely useful, I could try to put theory into practice.
Okay. So there is, as you burst out into the back lot here, I mean, you can see that there's quite a lot of detritus around the back of this yard. Probably things that where people have failed to pay the bill on their lockup unit, and their stuff has just been chucked out the back and has been scavenged and so on and so forth. So I would say this is a D2 understand check,
okay.
And anything you want to do trait wise to leverage it down.
I don't know if tactician really applies here.
No, it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. So
I'll help you though. I'll assist you.
Super. Does as a focus. Okay, so let's do it in order. I'm thinking it's an understand roll, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then I'm going to use my faith. I can use anything or train anyone to fight, because I'm going to rig a thing to jam this door closed.
Okay.
And
That's a really specific drive statement. Wow.
It is, and it's coming into place.
Like really comes in handy with that door.
Niche.
Yeah. Very niche.
Yeah. Well, it's how I built this character. That's their ethos.
No, I know. It sounded like the whole drive statement was to use
to have
jam a door.
to use. Oh, sorry.
Like I was like,
Yes. I get
sorry.
it. To use a door. Yes. And then this isn't really a trap. The focus traps would apply, or
Yeah. No, it would.
It would.
I think it would,
Yeah.
because it's understanding
Trapping
of
them
mechanisms.
inside the building.
Yeah.
Yep. Understand.
I'm impressed you have that kind of a focus, full stop. So you're definitely getting it.
Again, that's something this character would have had.
Yeah.
They
Great.
like
plus.
They like traps.
Fair enough.
So I'm going to spend 1 momentum to get an extra die. And I have a focus. Ooh, that was close.
Yeah, but
I'll do you an assist as well.
that crit makes it a success. Yeah, and how are you helping for your one die
I'm
roll?
also helping Rayla to look through all this detritus for something to use.
Scavenging.
Yeah. I'm going to use understand as well. I'm going to use faith. I believe in my house that we can find some junk in the rubble. I'll use 1 dice because it's an assist. And
Now I see
use
what
a
you mean with
focus.
those hyper-specific drive statements.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe in my house in searching through rubble. That's what my favorite. I'm going to use a focus of observe. Around.
Yeah, that works, definitely. Keeping a sharp eye out.
No, I don't. I find rats. Ah, rats.
Yeah, nevertheless, though, 2 successes are brought about, so that's a success. So in terms of being able to jury-rig the door shut, you are able to find something thrown out, cast out within the rubble that is ideal for wedging between the door and the frame so securely, and perhaps with the help of Eula, able to drive it securely into place. Did you want to do any further or obtain information?
I'm thinking it's an umbrella. There's an umbrella holder full of umbrellas that we're able to use to going around the door.
So it's a sequence of piton effectively.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, nice, excellent. So curious, yeah. So I think just as you are hammering in the last one into place, you see a sort of like flash of torchlights inside the building, and you can see gang members are tearing the place up. You just catch some flashlights and some movement of them rushing through. It's only a matter of time before they realise that you're not there. But in the meantime, they appear to be tearing through the place systematically in search of you. But you have secured the back door.
What is to the... You said there was a fence across, like straight across out the door. What's to the left and the right of us?
Well, he pulls up his incredibly detailed map. Yeah, the back of the lockup facility affords about 20 feet of ground, and then the fenced off wall. I mean, on the right and the left of the building, if you were to go and have a little peek around that, it's really just narrow channels that lead out to the front car park. So it's basically a square, the layout of this whole area.
If we move fast, we can get out the front before they get back here, or head back out the front.
I guess we don't know how many of them went inside the. It could be half of them as well. Is there a way of like?
I'd rather fight half of them at a time, though.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Then, is there any way we could get over this fence? How high is this fence at the back?
I mean, you could get through it. I mean, I know at least one of you has got a las gun. Otherwise, it's sort of like a 25, 30-foot high fence, which could be climbed, but would be unpleasant.
Yeah. Totally not
and
enough.
how busy is How busy is the traffic behind it?
What else are you going to cut with a las gun?
I hadn't even thought of that. I just didn't want to get hit by a car as we made our escape.
Well, you've got a pavement / sidewalk, and then 2 lanes of traffic. Okay. It is not particularly busy. It's like a quiet downtown sort of like area. Now, did you want to leverage any of that because you were obtaining information? You're doing an understand, but you could leverage if you wanted, putting theory into practice. You can create a trait for free, but you don't have to.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to do that. Other than or unless we created the trait block door.
That would kind of obviate the whole test that you just did.
Okay. Yeah, then I don't think we need it right this... Well, I guess while we're using the obtain information, can anybody think of a trait that... Oh, it's nightfall. It's getting dark. It's getting hard to see. Is that possible? Is that cohesive with our timeline?
One.
Yeah.
I don't think
Dramatic fog rules.
yeah, I don't think you could quite influence the passage of time narratively in that way.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if conveniently this was
inclement
it happened to be
weather.
nightfall.
All right. Yeah, unfortunately not. No. But smog or billowing smoke from a bonfire or some inclement weather conditions, definitely.
Really wobbly fence.
Shoddy
If somebody has a las gun, I'm not too worried about the fence.
We could start our own fire right behind the door, so when they burst out, there's a junk on fire there.
Absolutely.
That's what a laser gun's for,
They
start fires real well.
Could I theory into practice the trait denial of territory weapons, meaning I've used the junk lying around to create caltrops and other things that will make it very difficult for people to move out through the space at the back door.
Oh, absolutely, because you were sifting through it looking for those wedges, and in the course of doing that, you and Eula also identified, fragments of glass, nails, other sharp object that could be used for exactly that, and have them scattered around the exterior of the door and the backyard and laid out tactically, because you're a tactician, to be maximally disruptive for anyone coming out the back door.
Tactician who focuses in traps, no less.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like it.
You can. This is, by the way, this is pretty much the widest smile you've seen on Rayla's face. All arc. Yeah, this is like what she does.
Okay, yeah. So that back zone then is trapped. That trait is created. Nevertheless, you hear them. They are ripping their way through this sort of like compound, and times are ticking.
I lasgun everything.
Well, I hope you enjoyed Dune.
Oh, that was great.
See you next
Pull
week.
the trigger on my las gun and pirouette.
Yeah.
Well, I need to start a fire and cut down a fence in that order, or in reverse order.
No problem with starting a fire. I mean, there's so much junk and detritus, old bits of furniture, curtains, bedding, that kind of stuff. You can get a good blaze and smoke going, and then trivial to just slash a hole for you to be able to exit out of the fence. Mind the hot bits.
Yeah. So I'm going to roll wreck.
Wrong game.
Oh, yeah.
This is D0, so you can roll it.
Okay.
It will stand to gain you some momentum.
Battle.
Battle.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll choose power. My drive statement is I play by my own rules. That makes sense.
Evidently.
I'll just use 2 dice. It's what could possibly go wrong.
Well.
Complications could
Complications. Here comes a couple of
Nice.
20s.
I use my focus on bad cop. I mean, that's really a communicate one, but still. It seems fine to me.
Take that fence. Jeez.
Oh my
Come
god.
on.
Look at
Full
that.
Hell
auto.
yeah.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, salvo.
Okay, so you top the momentum pool up to 6 and have 2 left over that you can't do anything with unless you spend them now.
Create a trait
I'm
of
taking
raging
suggestions.
inferno. Traps
Trapped and-
surrounded by raging inferno.
Perhaps two.
Can I offer an alternative asset?
Yes, please.
A trait of remote controlled Matilda and have it come around to get us? I mean, is there like
Yeah.
a remote car? Is there like a recall? Like, you know,
yeah.
and it,
Yeah,
there is.
Knight
If
Rider.
you create it,
Come on,
it
Matilda.
will be made, and Matilda will come.
yeah.
just as an alternative, just as something that's, you know.
Oh yeah.
Sure, I'm up for that.
Okay. Then yeah, so you spend that momentum and create this recall device, which you can have about your person. Activate it, and Matilda's on its way.
Yeah,
Just trying to work
Matilda's
out-
Totally not AI drives to me.
yeah. Tried to work out where Matilda is. Did you drive her here? Remind me. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, she's in the car park.
Oh, great. So she's
Just
just
on the front. So I figured, yeah, it's just
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just hops the fence.
Yeah. So, as the flames start to, as the flames really start to kick in, and as you carefully push the torn part of the fence to one side and hold it so that everyone could start slipping through, the smoke is billowing. You see the back door being barged, sort of like heavily, but it isn't giving in at the moment because of all the pitons that you put into place. You then see a couple of gang members appearing from either side of the sides of the lockup store, just as Matilda, who seems to remote control drive much like Logan does this beautiful drift around the corner, probably to the point where it actually spins 180 degrees and ends up in reverse. But
That's my girl.
yeah. And then the doors auto pop up open
Nice.
as the gang members are terrassing their way towards you, but then encountering a lot of caltrops, broken glass, barbed wire, trap tricks,
Fire.
whatever, fire, smoke, yeah,
Fire.
and are seriously waylaid, meaning that your entry into Matilda can be done at a relatively leisurely pace.
Phrasing.
Yeah, so and then with the painting and Carran in tow, you can do a couple of donuts and burn your way out of that neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah, because you jammed up the door and set up a lot of traps, that has waylaid all the thieves. You're able to make good your escape. It might have been different had you not made those tactical sort of like choices, but they might have made an attempt to sort of like chase after you, but you've got such a lead on them, it's pretty much hopeless. And after a while, you're able to ease off the virtual gas a little bit, just calm down from the high-speed exit that I imagine for some reason Logan Ward would have done. And
Lots.
yeah. Back to House Obscura or somewhere else?
We do have the Emperor's painting with us. We probably do want to get that back to the house
Yeah.
sooner than
Pass
later.
it on.
and inform Talia Norel that we recovered her painting,
Yeah.
and she can stop,
Yeah.
preparing for Harry Carey and just like, hey,
Yeah,
we
we
got it.
bring her on the way while we're in the car. That's what we're doing. While Logan's driving.
As you are driving back, and I will decay a point of momentum shortly, but the very last part of the scene as you are driving back is that the Communist radio frequency for House Obscura comes on the line, and you get another call. And this is from your favourite spy master, Veritas, and he's saying, because if you remember, he did call you to say that you'd had they'd received an interesting communique from a group of Fremen, nonetheless, who wanted to have a conversation with you, open into negotiations. But he comes on the line and says, we have a few guests waiting for us back at the house who are very, very interested in securing a piece of art, says Veritas. Do give me some good news. Master Ward? Lieutenant?
I'm driving. Talk to someone else.
You can't see his eyes roll, but you hear them rolling.
I feel like we need some narration. Like, doesn't this moron know it's dangerous to talk and drive?
Need someone to deal with this pencil pusher from House Obscura. City Hall know-it-alls.
We've recovered the asset.
Excellent. Let's take care of that discreetly, so we have it as leverage. Make sure that's squared away nice and securely when you return to the house. And then I'm entertaining our guests in meeting room 3. Make your way there once you've got it secured away. Any other surprises I need to know about?
Commendation for our conscripts at the they did exactly what they should have done. Other than that, you may
yeah, you probably saw them as you were hauling away, having a bit of a fist fight with some of the thugs on the street corners. Nothing else pertinent then that I need to know about. Is that right?
That you need to know? No.
Yeah.
I would say that the operative thing was that there's nothing else pertinent, not that there's nothing else you need to know.
It's all in the phrasing.
Very well, he says in a clipped, slightly nasal tone of voice. See you shortly. And I can decay that point of momentum once I wake my mouse up.
Logan.
What?
Let's use the service parking lot and entrance.
I always do.
I was hoping to be unexpected, but hopefully they won't be expecting that anyways.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, if they're expecting me to turn up at the back exit and we're expecting me to be unexpected, maybe I should drive through the front door instead.
What if they expect
Glazer's over.
Oh my god. So we'll fade to black and then and then fade up. And I guess you're piling out of your vehicle in the underground rear garage facility that we just kind of invented for the serving staff, and making your way into House Obscura by one of the less obtrusive entrances, which enables you to, if you want, stash the painting sort of like securely and have that squirreled away.
In our lockers.
I think that's probably if we're looking for someplace, unexpected. I turn to Logan for this kind of thing. Like, where could we hide it that they won't expect it? Obviously, the boot of Matilda or one of our.
Why don't we
lockers.
just put it? We could put it somewhere. We could put it somewhere quite safe, like the armory, which would be guarded anyways.
Yeah.
Inside jacket pocket. Then when we go and see these Fremen, we'll say it's right here. What are you gonna do
Fold it up
about
first, because
Pull out
right
this-
in your jacket.
It's rolled up, isn't it? It's rolled up.
This-
You're fine.
Yeah, but it's
Get it down
still,
the trouser leg as well.
Yeah.
it's about 6 foot in height and 10 foot long. So even wound, that's one hell of an inside pocket you've got there.
Isn't it rolled up though and in a tube?
Yes,
It's still
Yeah,
nevertheless,
it's like a 9
it's
foot
still
long tube. Like a
yeah.
6 foot.
Yeah.
still 6
It's a
foot
very
in height.
long tube.
You gave me 2 dimensions then, so you made it sound like it was still a square.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I apologise for my lack of Euclidean precision, sir. I shall
I
endeavour
demand
to do
better
better.
vector maths.
Better vector maths will be provided instantly. Nevertheless, are you stowing it in the armory? Because that sounds like
Sounds like
a plan.
I mean, is there? Do we know? Is there like actually a safe? Wow.
by
Armory's a good idea.
by far and away, the armory is probably the most secure place, with the exception of the prison facilities in House Obscura. So you can have that whisked off by a passing cadet to be stowed away in the armory, and or personally, if you want to
Yeah.
Do that ourselves.
Okay, yes, yeah. You take care of it
I still think we
personally.
should keep it on us.
Yeah.
Really funny.
We've gone this far with it. We've gone to a lot of trouble. I feel like we're not gonna.
We might as well, yeah. It's
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna.
it's
The
kind of
bellhop. Here, take this.
we can
Exactly.
walk 6. Just so. I just had a
You
vision of
passing
like a
stranger, here, take this very important object.
The
Take this
tea
MacGuffin
lady.
to the armory. Like,
Yeah.
what are
You.
doing?
fellow in the ill-fitting bellhop, ill-fitting bellhop costume that looks suspiciously like a Fremen.
Yeah.
Yes. You with the blue eyes.
And the sandy face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You secure it.
This is why we're the B-Team.
Indeed. It's locked away in the armory, and you can then make your way to meeting room 3, as indicated, where you find Veritas entertaining three Fremen warriors who are trying to dress casual in an ecstasy style. And superficially they get away with it, but it takes 0.05 seconds to realise that they are Fremen. The blue eyes giving them away, amongst other things, as well as their physique, their demeanour, and
Covered
their
in oil from in that
tanned-
river.
How uncomfortable they are standing there without
Yeah,
a still
soggy.
suit.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
On a planet with many oceans, that's probably
so
way
much
more
humidity. This
humid.
must be
Yeah.
so freaky. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hair's like.
So pretty.
Yeah. The humidity.
And they are being entertained by Master Veritas, who
He's
is
just juggling, or
Yeah.
how's he entertaining them? How's he like doing like sock
Poetry.
puppet? Veritas' sock puppet? We
Poetry
missed it.
reading.
I'm gonna die for that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna lose an 8. I'm gonna lose an advancement point for that one for sure.
I know.
Worth it.
somewhere in here. It says something about how much threat you can raise.
That a bad pun is 2 threat. A bad pun.
Bad pun threat.
Worth it.
Yes, Veritas bids you sort of like enter, and then the door to the meeting room is sort of like secured behind you so that you can have as private as you possibly can in a spy's house, for God's sakes. There's probably bugs all over the shop, but as
there's paintings on the wall. We're
paintings on the wall, everyone's eyes,
fake eyes.
And the scene trait here is uncomfortable too, a distinct uncomfortable air, and Veritas seems uncomfortable. The Fremen certainly are awkward, refusing to sit down even though there is a plethora of seating. They stand looking awkward and uncomfortable. And Veritas, you know him fairly well. He's trying to maintain that air of authority that he has, but even he looks distinctly sort of like on edge. He introduces you to Wafik, who is who is nominally the leader of this group of Fremen, who looks at you all diffidently and then sort of like leans forward on the oval table and just said, "Let us get to business. You have, I believe, something of ours that we require." Also, just suddenly realised, side note, what did you do with Ella Carran? Is she there with you or not? Because that would be crucial, I think.
Yeah, let's have dragged her in to speak to Veritas as well.
Great, so that adds to the whole air of... adds to the frisson. You're right, yeah. The traitorous thief is there. Okay, yeah, and I mean, he spends a considerable amount of time, the soulless pits of his eyes, making eye contact with her, and she's sweating buckets and grimacing at the very sight of him. She seems genuinely to be frightened of these individuals, and rightly so. You have an asset of ours. We wish it to be returned.
I'm confused because I thought that the painting belonged to the Emperor. It was painted by an artist. I want anything to do with you guys.
Is that what Eula's saying? I'm just checking that's above or...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He pays attention to you for the first time.
The Fremen you're talking about?
Yes.
That's who I'm
the
talking
Fremen.
to, yeah.
Yeah, he's looking at
I'm
you.
talking to Veritas like that.
No, fair enough. You speak to these murderous assassins like they're a piece of shit. But Spy Master Veritas, 100% respect all the way down the line. He looks over at you almost sort of like for the first time, sort of like noticing you, this Fremen leader, Wafik, and he says, that picture was painted in forbidden territory. Talia Norel should never have been there in the first place.
Okay, fine.
It's a forbidden zone.
And she came out and she painted a painting for the Emperor. So still the painting isn't yours, right?
It seems to me that this discussion would be between you and the Emperor.
Well, yeah. We ring him.
Just get him in.
We've got his number
Get him in
lying
the room.
around somewhere, right?
Yeah, he's on speed dial.
I think the Fremen sort of like reconsiders his position. and Veritas is just, he's got that thin, slightly smug smile as he hears you using far more confrontational tactics than the A-Team ever would have, and he's delighted. But the Fremen says, I take your point. Nevertheless, in order to prevent a galactic-wide incident, we would have that painting our possession or destroyed. No matter the importance of the owner, it will happen.
Okay. Then you need to compensate the Emperor and the artist.
And us for. I mean, my boat got damaged in this whole facade, so I need to pay.
Got a few
Well,
scrapes
Well,
on
Logan
the
there's
side.
still waterlogged. And Logan and Ella are both still waterlogged.
Yeah,
True.
I swallowed half the bloody sea out there.
Yeah.
He seems to be, again, considering your words, deeply unhappy at your overt displays of cultural contempt to what he's requesting. He changes tack once more and says, I don't think you really understand the significance of this painting and what it represents to the people of Arrakis. And I don't mean those who hold the rights to harvesting. I mean the people of Arrakis. It represents an aspect of the very soul of our culture. Surely you, as an artistic house, would grasp the significance of that and its meaning.
Okay,
How
I
can
don't
we come?
think we. Sorry, go on, Sherpa.
No, it's okay.
I think we
I was just trying to come
Step in
to
and
as the
bail me out.
ambassador wannabe.
In waiting, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if we can come to some kind of compromise. Is there no middle ground? Is it the? Can I ask? Is it the flower that is the problem, or is it the territory that's the problem? She shouldn't have been there. I'd like to talk with them about what exactly is it about the painting that's the problem.
So this sounds like some kind of communicate skill.
Okay.
Just because tensions are high.
Yeah.
And-
100%.
And the conversation thus far has not de-escalated it a whit.
Absolutely. I would like to use
But s-
subtle words
I
when I
knew
attempt
it.
to communicate. When I attempt a communicate test, and you buy one or more dice, you may create a new trait for free upon the character you are speaking to. So, I will roll communicate, and my faith.
what's the difficulty?
Oh yeah, before I start buying.
It's
Bases.
D2 made into a D4 because we've got the tension.
Oh my. Okay.
We can leverage some traits like our house trait of discreet. Again, we're
Discreet
in Veritas's office, not out in the market.
and in a
bellowing at each
secure
other.
private area.
Well, and we're trying to prevent a galactic incident. We're trying to come to a compromise solution, which is inherently discreet, as opposed to just being
Yeah.
like, take the painting, the Emperor will be fine.
Yeah, yeah. No, we'll kill you.
And so far, the more adversarial line in the sand stance that you've taken.
Right.
Yeah,
We're
you
trying
can
to
reduce
back-
it from
we're trying to-
D4 to D3. Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to. What do you think? 2 dice? Give me. Is that
We've
reasonable?
got enough if you want to buy 2 dice. Yeah.
I'll take 2 then. We'll.
And if I will jump in and assist you if I can do if you need
That
it.
would be lovely. Okay, so I'm going to roll communicate, and I do have a focus of diplomacy with my faith.
Nice.
And we'll roll 4 dice. And I am using a focus. Come on. Oh my, I'm gonna need it.
Action.
2 successes,
Something I can
but 1
do.
complication.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. So can I still assist? Because I'm
Yes.
out of the conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use. Is it still? What is it? Communicate still.
Doesn't have to be communicate. You can do it in any other
use
way.
whatever you like.
Yeah.
I'll use my discipline because I'm trying to like keep my cool and not you know.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, but you said,
Yeah, I would have said.
trying not to escalate it worse.
I get you. Yeah, because I would have said it was
Yeah.
you
Find it
who was
common ground,
driving,
compromise.
who was drawing that line in the sand quite
Yeah.
firmly with them. So, yeah,
Right.
discipline.
I'm gonna use my.
Sorry,
Discipline.
gang. Oh, that was rough.
That's good. I'm going to use my truth statement, which is better to get hurt by the truth than comforted with a lie.
Nice.
Because I don't like this tiptoeing around all the bullshit. I like to just say what it is. And I'll use a focus of self-control.
Yeah, all of that works.
I only get 1 dice. Come on, give me a good one. Yes, focus. Oh, 19.
Ugh.
Fuck. That's another complication, right?
Well,
Maybe.
It could
I don't
be.
know if there's actually a...
I've definitely got one.
Okay.
So it sounds to me like what you're trying to do, Eula, sort of like is sort of de-escalate with your posture, sort of like appear less aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a fair?
Yeah, that's cool.
However, that's not going so well. You know, I mean, you're doing you're doing your best to rein in your emotions and present yourself as calm, but underneath it, you're just seething because what you're hearing is this tedious back and forth political talk of,
Yeah.
you know, people, you know, talking around and dancing around the topic and not really getting to the point. You know, this whole conversation is pretty much contrary to your drive statement.
Sure. Okay.
And they pick up on that. So we have 2 successes, but it was a D3 test, so it's a fail. That's a shame. I would have loved to have seen a compromise. Wafik,
Well, can none of the other chaps step in to assist as well?
how many assists are you allowed? Because I can never remember if it's one.
I
at
think
one
you've kind of
point
said
we
if it
house-
makes sense.
Is it
We
narrative
house ruled
plausible?
for the time being that as narrative plausibility was.
Narrative
Logan
plausibility.
locks
Okay,
the door behind us.
that's yeah. So, seeing that things are starting to get a bit ragged around the edges here, is there anything that Logan or Rayla or Miles would like to do to try and ease the tension? It's just a stern silence rolling around the room at the moment. You can assist if you can make it plausible with a 1 dice roll.
Ideally, I'd like to leave it for someone else.
Fair play.
Yeah.
I can
Communicates not my
explain
strong
why if
suit.
you like.
Yeah, character-wise, I'm not sure Logan is the one to de-escalate.
Sure, sure.
I think part of the
Like, the
problem is
only
he
thing-
feels like his job is done. Like all this stuff is like paperwork. This is politics.
Yeah.
So that's way above his station. So
Yeah, you got the wrong
Yeah.
aside from
character.
maybe giving it to them for a ticket off world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I assess this? Can I assess the situation from no, that's body. That's a totally different set of focuses and skills. Like, the only thing I can think of doing is making sure I'm not being physically aggressive. But
That's fine. You could do that, you know, yeah, doing anything to make things appear a bit more relaxed in the room and counter the obvious tension would be helpful. Yeah, so
that and offering everybody some tea. But I really don't know what that turns into from a role perspective.
I'd take a try and...
Have we offered the Fremen water? I mean, right? Isn't that the most precious
sacred
thing
thing
for
to them, sure.
We offer them.
All right,
lots
so
of
I'm gonna pretend Rayla had that brilliant idea.
Yeah, go on.
Be like, do you would you gentlemen like some water?
What skill tests? You could do communicate, but I'll also accept a move, as in perfect timing of going to grab the carafe of water that's on the table, pouring a glass and just interceding at the right moment, using tactics.
Unless my stealth focus. Oh, okay. Interceding at the right moment, so the tactics focus might apply.
Yeah.
Okay. So move and communicate are equally crappy for me, but at least I've got the focus there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to move.
It's a bit cheeky, but have you got determination? I'd have thought of it. I would have used mine. Don't think of it.
Oh, I do have a point of determination. I can re-roll my dice pool. Is that still on the table, or are we? Can we move on? Have we moved on past that?
Why don't we? I'm not going to take it completely off the table. It does feel like we're quite some way down.
Why don't we see if we can?
Let's see if it can be recovered.
Forgot.
If it can't be recovered.
Good call, Nick. God, I should have thought of that.
Okay, so I'm going to go with duty. No, not drive. Which drive? I'm going to say power is the key to achieving anything.
Yeah.
Because this is my ploy to achieve power in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
How many dice? So what's my difficulty? Or this is just an assist?
Just
Never
an
mind.
assist. Yep.
Submit. Focus. Yes. Whew.
Go on.
Nice. So your timing is impeccable. You present it, with sort of like soft words, humbly offering up just a simple glass of water, relaxed.
A gentle laugh and a carafe.
Okay.
Sure. You can take another threat point for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And as they pause and as they sort of like accept this offering, they do so in a sort of almost a sort of like ritualistic way, like there's a formalness to how they accept it, and a sort of a lowering of their eyes. There's a sort of subtle gesture that they all make that must be something that's sort of cultural to them, and that tips you over into a D3 success, so you don't have to burn your determination to re-roll the whole pool. I'm not going to lie though, that was close. And yeah.
Thank you all.
Wafik says there might be a middle path.
And the trait that I'm going to impose on Wafik is amenable.
Amenable. Yeah.
Amenable. Sorry, did I don't know if
you can say amenable.
Sure.
I'll say amenable.
Amenable.
Yeah.
To a
yeah, and he just says, and that fits. He says maybe there is a middle path, and as they sip their water and stand down, the tension level goes down. So I would say that amenable is starting to cut through the scene trait of uncomfortable. So we've lowered the scene trait of uncomfortable by 1. They're more open to talking, and Veritas sort of shifts himself off the table and sort of paces around the room and says, after all, he is the house spy master, and Philly ought to do something. What is it, may I ask, Wafik, without going into the details that we must not know, that makes this painting different to the others in such a way as it must be removed from public sight? Is it the flower itself, the colour of the flower, that it represents the southern hemisphere? I don't need to know why it's significant, but what is it about the content of the painting that must be obscured or taken away?
Right, what does Wafik say then?
Yeah, he considers the words of the spy master of this man, and he seems to sort of almost sort of, he looks like he's reassessing his take on this man and what he represents. He says the colour. It is the colour. And Veritas nods.
Okay. Is it me? It seems like quite an easy fix. Just ring Talia to whip over with a paintbrush.
Well,
Change the
there
colour of
might-
the flowers.
There might be some hesitation from the artist's part, and it would have to be done subtly enough to not be noticed by the Emperor or anybody who'd tell the Emperor, so we'd be taking a significant risk, and we'd need some form of compensation. I see that it is possible under certain circumstances for you impressive warriors, based on what we saw that you left behind, to come to our planet and ply your trade as impressive warriors.
He listens to these words.
Would you be able?
He doesn't say anything. Like this praise is not penetrating him at all. If you get what I mean, you don't feel that it is anyway. But
Right.
Veritas looks at you encouragingly. Go on.
Would you be able to train our soldiers? Not in great numbers, of course. Only some of our more adept few. Ones capable of benefiting from that caliber of instruction.
If you could secure things so that we were satisfied that the image in the painting wasn't so inflammatory, so potentially destructive, change that colour and have that satisfy all parties, the artist, the Imperial Court, and so forth, then yes, we would undertake to abide by a discreet training program in return for that. It would be acceptable.
I look at Veritas.
Veritas looks well pleased, but he doesn't portray it, but you can see the look of how pleased he is in his eyes. You see just the faint micro crinkles. It's all that portrays how pleased he is.
Oh, if you knew Veritas, you know that was a big deal. That was like,
With your permission, Master Veritas, Spy Master Veritas, we'll put these wheels in motion.
Veritas nods. Make it so, he says.
Now, a bit of a metagaming question. Veritas would know how good Carran Carado's relationship with Talia is, based on the reports from our last mission.
Yeah, he's seen the reports.
Would he recommend that Carran get in touch with Talia to make that ask?
this sounds like an A-team
B-Team
quiz
crossover.
as well, because
Yeah.
it also like
Crossover episode.
Greg,
Yeah.
didn't your previous character also have binding promise? We could use that to secure Talia's agreement.
Yeah, we could do a
You sure
crossover.
did.
Yeah, what? Sorry. Carol.
What? Who, me?
Anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my plan was to make an incredibly convincing copy and give that to the Fremen and keep the real one.
Well, that is an option.
Love that.
Also true.
Which would last until, the Emperor puts it up in his palace. And
Yeah, but then that's the
gets
Emperor's
into the news.
problem. If they can break into his palace and snatch his painting, then all power to them, you know what I mean?
Well, certainly you.
That sounds
I
like
don't
a
undo the good
compromise
work you've done.
that is could be, accepted by all.
So, I mean, that scene is over.
Yes. Sorry.
It's all right. But, you do have some choices on the table. As long as you can satisfy the Fremen that you've done what they've asked, that the Emperor owns that painting, but the colours of the flowers are not purple, they are something else. As long as they're satisfied that that is the case, and that, the original painting is no more, as long as they're satisfied by all that, cushy. Now, if you want to do that in the straightforward way, or you want to do that in a more underhand, more duplicitous way, whatever benefits the house, then we can start appropriate scenes, because you may want to have a scene where you need to convince Talia and Arel to change the colour of a picture, or you may decide that what you're going to do is create a forgery and try and pass that off. How are you going to put this audacious tactical plan into place?
Out of character. So, has the Emperor seen this painting before?
Yes.
Yeah, he was at the exhibition.
But there's no
For like,
recordings
here's
of
the
it.
painting.
There's no recordings because that wasn't allowed. So it's only people have seen it in a busy exhibition soiree, which was also a bit
Right.
fraught at
So
times.
maybe do the scene where we convince Talia to change the painting and then send the original to the Emperor, but make a sneaky copy just for House Obscura with Team Criminal. So that we've got the good copy, and the Emperor gets the bum one, and the Fremen are cheerful as well.
Like the urban legends about how there's some mob boss with the real Mona Lisa
Mona Lisa.
on his mantelpiece,
Yeah.
and the
Bathtub.
one in the
Yeah.
Louvre is a copy. Yeah.
I don't know. Why do we want a copy?
avoiding-
of Obscura?
Yeah.
If it comes out that we did some kind of duplicitous thing, the Emperor will crush House Obscura.
Also,
There's
like
not-
we've already,
Yeah.
if we pull this off as it stands, if we pull this off, we've got Fremen training for House Obscura
Yeah.
warriors.
And Bravo
So-
really wants to get trained by Fremen. I think
yeah.
ready for that one. I'm ready for that.
I think we were incentivized enough to pull this off.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only concern
And I think we
is-
can do it by if we can tell Talia because Talia, obviously has a love for the planet Dune, and if I recall,
Yeah.
she talked about Fremen in a positive way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but I vaguely recall something about that.
Yeah. Well, maybe
So we could probably sell her on the hey, can you subtly alter the painting so that it's not offensive to the Fremen,
Yeah.
the people of
And
this
stops an
planet that you find so
intergalactic
beautiful?
catastrophe.
And it's really it'll be an intergalactic incident, and if the Emperor or anybody says anything, you can just say, oh, I had an inspiration brought on by this situation, and I made a minor alteration.
Or she could
after.
say, "What do you mean? It was
You
always
must
that
be
colour. I don't
misremembering.
remember."
So
Always.
yeah,
The
there was a lot
exhibition.
going
Yeah.
on.
Weeks ago.
Yeah.
Brits, you said you had a
I like
concern.
that
What
better.
was that?
My concern
Yeah,
is
what was that?
we're risking pissing off the Emperor rather than some
Right.
Fremen. Is kind of my only concern. But I've
I don't think
hear what
the
you're
Emperor will be
saying there.
pissed because we've rescued his painting.
Yeah, but if he orders like a purple painting and we give him a yellow painting, he's gonna be like, "What the fuck's this?"
The odds of him
It's
noticing are
something.
slim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
don't forget,
And-
he bought there's how many paintings? Like 12
did he buy
paintings or something.
loads?
This is only.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was
Shitload,
a
they're all
dozen
made for
murals.
him.
Oh yeah, there's a dozen paintings, and
He
this was only
remembers
one of them.
the color of one flower on one of them. He's got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, I thought he
You know,
just picked
he's
out
running
this
a
one
whole
painting that he
universe.
wanted.
So
Yeah, there's a
That's-
shit
Oh no,
load
it was
of-
a whole exhibition, and that was just the one
Yeah,
that
yeah.
got stolen.
Okay,
So we're in
it's one of a dozen large murals. So
and even like having seen what the Fremen did at Ella's place, I don't know who I want. Like, I feel like this over the course of our arc, we've gone from like Fremen are poor scrabblers who exist on the edge of Arrakis society to, well, at least some of them are rather adept assassins, if not necessarily great boatswains.
Sound. Yeah, I'm on board.
Okay then. So sounds like you're going to have a chat with Talia then. And who's coming for this chat? Because you can choose from any amongst your team. Well, Craig, you can't, unfortunately. Craig, Mr. Craig B, you've only got the one to take. But if you want to take any other character that we have, take one of the NPCs if you like. But what's the mix? What's the dream team AB mix for this persuasive discussion?
I better take.
I'm going to
Smirk.
trot out Turan because he's got history with Talia.
Smirk and Turan. Yeah. Okay. And what are you leaning towards, Nick and Steve? Who do you want to take out?
I'm taking Eula because he's better at talking. If I wanted to sneakily go and murder her with no one noticing, then I'd take William. But Eula's more of a talker.
will there
Take
will
him.
there be Fremen present in this, or is this just us going to talk to Talia?
Yeah, just you going to talk
Oh,
to
is it?
Talia.
Okay. I think Brava has a better rapport with her, and we've talked with her before.
Mm-hmm.
But Sister Margot is the better diplomat. I'm gonna take Brava, but Brits, I'll offer it if you want to play Sister Margot. That's a character you can choose as well.
Otherwise,
Jump
we
in. Jump
we
into the race.
do have some NPCs in the bank.
Hey, Sister Margot would cut her fingers off.
Where did that come
How would
from?
you do that? Oh my god!
You monster.
Yeah, we've got Barry and Chuck. They could be good diplomats.
You could take the Chuckle Brothers. You could take the legal advisor.
I'll take the legal advisor. Absolutely.
You could take the legal advisor. I think having a lawyer
lawyer.
present might be useful.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take legal advisor. Is
All
that
right.
Barata.
Barata. Yes, absolutely.
Barata.
Yeah. Barata. Yeah, the legal advisor to the house. Yeah, take that fellow with you. Okay. So we've got a scene then where we have I don't know, what's the theme music going to be now? I've got to merge the 1970s cop
No,
music.
you got to
No.
change the overlay as well.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be totally different. Finale.
For a deep purple overlay to mix the blue and the
Yeah.
red, right?
The flowers.
That's,
the
I thought
flowers
that was the
purple, yeah.
musical choice, and I was like, how does that
Purple.
make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. So now, are you wanting to host Talia at the house? I mean, you could engineer something, or like you host Talia at the house and have the Fremen watch discreetly, secretively, so that they can see the agreement being made. And that's probably what Veritas would suggest. You know,
Or even if we can have that conversation with her and she agrees to do it, they can sneakily watch her paint over the colour. They know then we're not jipping them with a fake
And see
paint
that it's
in
been
and-
done.
Yeah. And give us the nod if it's like, far enough away colour.
all happy with that?
Like that show with Bob Ross.
Yeah.
No mistakes, just happy little accidents.
Just happy little accident.
Are those 3 momentum that's hovering on the border of the momentum pool?
Those
there?
were spent. I believe those were the ones I spent for the dice.
Okey-dokey.
And when I fucked it, yeah.
I've got a decay one. So, probably the next day, but it doesn't take much persuasion to call Talia in. She's beside herself. She calls into House Obscura probably every other hour for an update. And Veritas insists that she's just stonewalled for a bit as arrangements are made so that the Fremen can observe the conversation that you're going to have with her and that you can get all your ducks in a row. So she's politely stonewalled until the following morning, and she is told that you have made significant progress. If she could report at her earliest convenience at House Obscura, she will have an in-person updating. And she breaks...
Your paints with you.
Yeah. She virtually breaks the speed of sound getting to you. The Spy Master suggests that you actually host this in one of the gallery spaces and has Chuck and Barry, reframe the painting. Did that sort of like overnight so that it could be put up in the gallery space, just covered up in amongst the rest. I mean, you'd have paintings in the gallery all the time being rotated around. Several of them are probably covered at one point. That's fairly normal. So it would just be a painting within the space. So you could do, if you want to do a bit of a reveal or not, or you could just have it there open. He is a bit of a showman and likes to manipulate, so Veritas prefers to have it covered up so that he can leverage all tools. Turan, he'll put you in charge of this nominally. And he'll keep an eye on the Fremen in the observing room. He'll probably have a security detail at close hand, just a corridor away, just in case things go wrong with the Fremen, for whatever reason. But Talia Norell is, arrives early. I guess maybe would Blake greet her, or would he want a regular member of staff of the retinue to do the greeting details, or is he on hand personally?
Oh yeah, I'll go meet her personally.
Excellent.
Float down in my long robe and my dripping with jewellery and shiny bald head.
Yeah.
To put her at ease.
She gives you the faintest of smiles, like she's trying to be upbeat, but she's dreadfully concerned, that the fate of her career and the Emperor's displeasure hangs on what happens sort of like here, and she's desperate to know what the news is. She looks at you pleadingly. It is good news, isn't it, Envoy Smirk? Please.
Of course. I've always told you can rely on us for whatever problems may occur, so please try and relax. You look frightfully stressed.
It's been...
Follow me! Float off down the corridor.
Before she can explain how frightfully stressed she is, she has to run after you down the corridor. And she does so, yes. And then how are you wanting to position yourself within the gallery space or anywhere else close by you want to be?
I'll be near the painting and ready to unveil it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be with Turan. Oh.
I think Barata will be like in the back corner, just maybe like taking mental notes on the situation, ready to jump in with any legal
advice. Yeah.
Sergeant Marlowe will be at the door, making sure everything is secure.
Yes, so you see Blake arrive in a flurry of bangles. Talia.
So the usual.
Yeah, Talia trying hard to keep up. And, you know, she enters into the gallery space, somewhat puzzled that you're in the gallery space and not one of the normal meeting rooms she's used to.
Introduce her.
Go ahead.
What's the title officially? Imperial Artist?
She
Talia?
is. Yes.
Artist in residence? Is that
Done.
Imperial Artist in Residence, yes.
I might as well announce everyone else in the room while I'm at it. You know Sergeant Marlowe. Well, it's got Mentat Corrado from the exhibition. And this is Physician McCoy. And over there in the corner, we've got Legal Advisor Barata.
Okay, she looks slightly taken aback that there's a lawyer here, but...
And a doctor.
And a doctor.
Yes.
It's an interesting combo. She says, she goes over to you, Turan, because you know she has a very good connection with you. You know, and as she approaches, she what? Please, It's been a miserable 48 hours from the pinnacle of my career to
no
the
longer.
depths.
We have secured your painting, and I
Unveil
the
it.
rope to yeah.
Yes, probably at this point, maybe.
Because
we really-
apparently I take after I've been working with Veritas for too long.
Yeah.
Flair for the dramatic.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And she stands sort of almost disbelieving, you know, in front of the canvas that she'd lost hope of seeing again, hearing that it had somehow been spirited out of several high security locations and from high profile security specialists, and there she is looking at it once more, and she breathes out a mass of tension and stress, and has quite an emotional reaction to seeing it again. She says, I can't begin to understand how you've managed to achieve this, and frankly, I'm not sure I want to know the ins and outs of what happened, but I am terribly grateful. I can't quite begin to think of how I can even thank you all for saving the painting and the collection.
Well, it is funny you should mention that, because we do require a favor of you that I think you'll be happy to provide, given the context and motivation. You see, apparently the flower depicted in the painting is of a certain significance to the inhabitants of the planet Arrakis. And
The
they...
Fremen, you mean? The Arrakeen natives?
Yes. Yes.
I have no idea.
Neither did we. And this situation was actually brought about as an attempt for them, who have traveled a long way, as you can imagine, at great expense, to come and try to prevent the depiction of the flower from being seen publicly.
Her mind is
Now-
boggled at this thought. Yeah.
Now, we've spoken with them at length, and we've established that the issue is such that it is only the color of the flower, and something as minor as changing that would be to their satisfaction going forward. we believe that this would allow them to maintain their dignity and us to honor that dignity while also allowing the Emperor to enjoy his painting. I obviously realize this may represent an imposition on your
Turan,
artistic vision.
Turan, where are your paints?
There they are.
Well, we get some paints out.
And she starts working on it immediately.
I look over at the one-way mirror.
Yeah, yeah.
Sit in a beanbag.
Yeah.
In a matter
There's
yeah.
servants. Is there a servant nearby? Because if this is going to take more than 10 minutes or so, could we get some of the vol-au-vent? A tray of those? That would be great.
Yes, your
There it is.
Callbacks. I love it. I love it.
friendly local shadow mapes will happen to be on call, and she will appear shortly with a selection of your favourite vol-au-vent. A couple of beanbags are dragged in for good measure, and in something in the order of about an hour, you see the painting transformed, and it's a very subtle transformation, and she changes the hue in such a way that it doesn't disturb the overall ambience of the picture. You receive a subtle notification through your mic setup from Veritas, indicating that the Fremen are satisfied. All is well, is all he says, and Talia is happy to make this adjustment if it means that it could be returned to the collection in time for the Emperor to make his return journey to Khitan, and that her reputation as the Imperial artist is intact, and she continues to be now a celebrated artist in residence. House Obscura has avoided a potential unpleasant complication. You would have got, if this hadn't been properly handled, a complication for the house, which would have been Imperial displeasure. But that has been nimbly avoided. If anything, I think the relationship between House Khitan and House Obscura is that you are deemed favourably by the Emperor and his Imperial House. And I think there are still a number of unpicked threads about this whole affair, question unanswered, that after things are wrapped up, that no doubt Veritas would want to follow up with you. The face dancers, the Bene Tleilaxu, the accusation that somehow the consort of the master of House Barragan had some kind of involvement in this affair. There's a lot of threads, half threads, that need to be investigated on some level. But the major objectives have been fulfilled.
Yay, we won June.
Hey!
We win.
We won the role-playing game.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we can do our advancement points, and because at the end of the desert flower, we can apply the pool to all the characters that you've got, and you can set some aside to put into a new character. And yeah, level up. Well done. Awesome work.
Done, team.